How the fuck did my microphone get turned all the way down? That's bullshit. Hold my beer. Shit to get through and not a lot of time to do it in, so we're coming in hot is what I'm saying. Good evening and welcome to Bullshit Hold My Beer, where the mics are hot and the drinks are cold. Tonight we're going to be talking about quite a few things. As soon as I bring that up on my run sheet, we're going to be talking about the dumpster fire that is our country's leadership.
We'll be discussing how much you have to fuck up to get a job elected in the Senate.
We might discover that God moves in EMP waves.
And we'll speculate on who will be the next Time Lord, because we fucked up predictions on who will be president so very, very badly.
We'll also do that while getting very, very drunk. This is episode 3 of Bullshit Hold My Beer, and tonight I am joined, as always, by Patrick Alger, and my girlfriend, Murphy Donovan, will be sitting in. We'll be sharing a mic, so this is going to be interesting. Sound quality is going to be what it's going to be. So if you're paying for this show, thank you. If not, hey, you got what you paid for. So without any further ado, man, let's just jump right in because we got a lot of shit to cover. Let's see. The first story comes to us from Right Wing Watch. We're going to talk about Roy Moore here. Roy Moore wants Jeff Sessions' old job. I don't know if you're familiar with Jeff Sessions.
Negative.
Yeah, he's part of the presidential cabinet. I forget exactly where they stuck him, but he's one of the fuckers who's denying global climate change, and he's a young Earth creationist, and he's doing all this bullshit while he has an incredibly important presidential job.
Exactly. We need a few more of those.
Well, it turns out that at one point in time, we as a country elected this son of a bitch as a senator, and now, since the president made him more important, his job is up for grabs. So this guy, Roy Moore, is going to jump in and try and take the spot. He's running for the seat. He looks like the kind of Mormon, like, I have to show my dick to get him to leave my doorstep. And I've only done that like 5 times.
It's very effective, though.
Yeah. The Jehovah's Witnesses love it, too. He's the guy, okay, this is the guy, I don't know if you remember, but he fought to have the Ten Commandments monument kept on the lawn of, the Alabama state Capitol.
Right, yeah.
That's this guy. He's
that guy.
He is that fucking guy. He has more fucking forehead than Scientology has acreage. So
damn.
Yeah. Let's get into this. Following his suspension. That's the first 3 words of the fucking article. Following his suspension. You know that time when we told him
out good, yeah.
Well, you know that time we told you not to do your fucking job because you're bad at it?
Yeah.
Yeah, following his suspension from the Alabama Supreme Court. Does Alabama really need a Supreme Court?
I don't think so.
Shotgun law. Roy Moore announced today that he will run for a special election of the U.S. Senate seat previously held by Attorney General Jeff Sessions. Former Governor Roy Bentley appointed the then State Attorney General Luther Strange. Luther Strange?
Yeah, that's a good one.
He needs to get a doctorate.
Yeah.
Then you have Dr. Strange running
Strange.
Alabama. And I feel like Alabama is just the kind of reality-bending place that a Dr. Strange would fit in.
It'd fly.
But a special election will be held this year to determine who's actually going to take Sessions' job. Yada, yada, yada. Moore, let's get into this guy Moore. He was suspended as Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court after he unsuccessfully attempted to have state judges defy the Supreme Court's marriage equality ruling. So in other words, when
one of those guys.
Yeah, when the Supreme Court, when the judges of all judges passed down the thing that said, hey, gay people are people too. So are lesbians and non-binaries and just about, people. All people are pretty much
all
people.
All people are people?
Yeah. He said, nuh-uh. They can't get married. So,
right?
Yeah, that was his first, and his rationale here was that these marriages were illegitimate because they violated, and this is a quote, God's law.
Right. Separation of church and state and all that.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Which fucking God, by the way?
Yeah.
There's
Which
only
ones? They didn't name them.
Yeah, there are only 4,000 of them. I am pretty sure that Loki would just be fine. Like, you want to marry a sheep?
Tickled to death.
You want to marry a sheep, marry a fucking sheep.
Yeah, if you're going to marry a sheep.
as a horse.
What's that?
He gave birth as a horse.
That's
He
right.
did, yes.
Well, he gave birth as a horse or to a horse?
Yes.
Oh, both, yeah.
Both.
And he gave birth to a wolf, because Fenrir is his kid.
Yeah.
And then you've got, what was the other one? Hell's his daughter.
Yes.
And she's all fucked up and corpsey looking, so yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I feel like if you told Loki, hey, we're going to have people just marrying whoever and whatever they want, he'd be like, yeah, get them in there marrying chairs. This will be fucking great. Anyway, so Numbnuts also, he previously, this guy, Roy Moore, previously lost his job, not got suspended. His other job that he had, he fucking lost, got fired after flouting a federal court ruling ordering the removal of the 10 Commandments. So they said, you got to take the 10 Commandments off the state capitol lawn. And he said, fuck you.
Right.
Actually, he's Christian, so he probably said, I really don't want to.
Yeah. Not gonna happen.
Not gonna happen. He's from Alabama, too, so not gonna happen. Not doing it.
Not gonna do it.
I got shit. I'd have to get down here at the pickup truck. Fucking big old come along, and there's just a lot of shit involved in that individual. Yeah.
Right.
Suddenly we're getting down to Louisiana at that point.
We're traveling.
Moy. Moore warned that, quote, the foundations of the fabric of our country are being shaken tremendously. Our families are being crippled by divorce and abortion. Our sacred institution of marriage has been destroyed by the Supreme Court, and our rights and liberties are in jeopardy.
I think his foundations are probably getting shaken because he realized he really wanted to suck a dick, and it scares him to death.
You gotta... Jesus Christ, I'm
Yeah,
peeking
so
the
he's
mic.
got to fight it with everything he's got.
Oh man, pray the gay away, buddy. Pray the gay away. He has a long history of championing.
Championing.
Fuck this. That's got to be an edit. Feel free to get in there, babe. Just like shout it out. He has a long record of championing religious right causes. As he fights over. Let's see. Here we go. While cheering Kentucky clerk Kim Davis's own attempt to spurn the marriage equality, Moore likened her ordeal to the Holocaust. This is the guy who was like cheering on the steps when she was released and
Right.
said like she has gone through her own personal Holocaust.
Oh, own personal Holocaust.
Who's what?
So Moore was the guy who Kim Davis was the judge who said she refused to marry gay or lesbian couples, like she would not do it.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, and she got thrown in jail because I don't know, she broke the fucking law. And then when she was released, he cheered and he said she has gone through her own personal Holocaust. I feel like the Jews would disagree, but since none of us here are Jews, I can't.
How did I not hear about that?
So
Like such a big slip up. Like Spencer just made that one slip up about the Holocaust, and then this guy did, and then but he gets a pass.
well, this was older, and
Yeah,
it was
pick and choose.
Yeah, I mean there was so much fucked shit to talk
Yeah,
about with Kim Davis.
it
thing,
was
but-
a big fucking abortion.
Yeah, I'm telling you, dumpster fucking fire. So, in essence, this guy is running for Alabama Senate. This guy is running to help decide laws and write laws and shit like that. And, I mean, fuck, he is empowered by the country that we are currently running.
Yeah.
There's a decent chance he's got a decent chance.
So this guy can fail up. Most of us get fired, we have to downgrade. This guy fails up.
Gross.
Yeah. Fucking fired from one job, suspended from the other. Hey, why don't you just get a promotion?
Yeah, that you can't get fired from.
To be fair, I was demoted to be promoted as well.
Right.
But now this is all just a side note, really. This is sort of a warm up in this week in politics, because as we speak, as we record this, it is what time is it? What time we got local? Oh, it's 11:53. It's almost midnight. In 7 minutes, it will officially be Trump's 100th day in office.
Yay.
Do we get cake?
I left the cake at work. There was actually cake today. And
Yeah, there was cake at work. Yeah.
Yeah, it
Not
was-
for that. It was for Earth
It
Day,
was for Earth Day.
which he doesn't believe in because facts and whatnot.
Because Earth isn't a thing.
No, it's not a real thing.
Well, it's flat.
It's flat.
It's flat, and it's only 6,000 years old. So
It revolves around him.
yeah,
So.
I told him your reaction to me watching flat Earth documentaries, and he thought that was funny.
Epic.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, you were just like scared that I was actually believing that shit. You're like, please tell me you're not one of these. I was like, no, these are just funny.
Yeah, that would have been a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You have to be entertained by some things on the internet.
So let's take a look at Trump's first 100 fucking days. I feel like this is like in how do you tell your parents their child is retarded news.
Right.
Like how do you tell Republicans they done fucked up because they don't think they did.
You can't.
Right. Now, first off, this article that I'm going to be reading from is highly editorialized, so it has a lot of opinion bullshit and fluff like that in there.
Right.
I'm going to try and stick to the facts as much as humanly possible as we go through. But so Trump made a bunch of promises in his campaign speeches, right?
Shit tons.
Yeah, they're all going to be huge. They're going to be tremendous. I'm not even going to fucking attempt to Trump in any of this because you embarrass the fuck out of me. Not gonna do it. I can throw a little bit of Bush 1 in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Me too.
The facts stand in difference. Anyway, so in his campaigns, he made first 100-day promises, right?
Right.
And he made 103 of these fuckers.
Right.
So he's gonna get 103 things done in 100 fucking days.
Great. One of them wasn't filling up his cabinet, correct?
No.
Okay, he didn't make that promise.
No, that's just a requirement of the fucking job.
Right.
So, some of the shit that he said he would do, there's in 103 promises, you kind of have to dig out the real big shit. So this is the stuff he really kind of campaigned on, and we're gonna take each one of these bit by bit. But first off, he said he would build the wall.
Right.
Wall of Mexico, first 100 days. Fuck it, we're gonna get this done.
So it was going to be completed in 100 days?
No.
Okay.
But he was gonna start construction on
Like,
it.
that would be magical.
Yeah, full bore. He doesn't have fucking Keebler elves, so.
Okay.
He was magic. Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty fucking magical that he's our president. But he was going to build the wall. He was going to repeal and replace Obamacare.
Right.
And he was going to ban entry into the country for certain groups of people, mostly the brown ones.
Right.
And
There's a color palette in the airports you can't pass through.
yeah, 50 Shades of Brown.
Yeah.
And finally, he was going to cut taxes. Now, it's not specific as to who he was going to cut taxes for, but we all know that it was the 1%ers, like the 250,000.
Yeah, the middle
over.
class, he says. The guys that drive Ferraris and shit is the middle class.
They only own one gold-plated Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously?
So, they're so poor.
Who has to live in that kind of poverty? It's fucking horrible. So let's take these one at a time. Quick yes, no. Has he built the wall?
No.
Okay. Has he repealed Obamacare?
Negative.
Has he replaced Obamacare?
Negative.
Has he managed to successfully ban entry into the country for brown people?
Nope.
And has he cut taxes any fucking where?
I think he just planned for the rich, but I don't think it's gone through yet.
Yeah, exactly. So he hasn't pulled it off.
So he hasn't done fuck all.
So it is now 3 minutes to deadline.
And not to mention all those golfing vacations.
Oh yeah, to fucking Montecito or whatever the fuck that place is called.
You got me.
The golf place. Every one of those. The fun fact is, every one of those costs the country $1 million.
Excellent.
To shut down the resort, to employ the special service or Secret Service, special service. We're the special service. We got the president. We can tell my pocket he orange. No, to employ the Secret Service and all that shit, it costs him, not him, us, $1 million for him to
Yeah,
play
because
around.
he hasn't released his taxes either.
Yeah, for him to play around a fucking putt-putt. Okay, so let's get into this article. President Trump's first 100 days in office, judging by his own campaign promises, have been a fucking disaster. I like the term dumpster fire.
Dumpster fireworks.
With his administration bogged down by scandals, infighting, and ineptitude, while Trump has now complained that the 100-day benchmark he set for himself,
He set for himself.
the 100-day benchmark he set for himself is, quote, a ridiculous standard.
Well, he's a ridiculous man.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say, is he looking in a mirror?
yeah, no, this is that same guy. He insisted that his well-known policy failures are actually moving forward smoothly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wall, totally happening. It's going to
Yeah.
be tremendous, and it's totally happening. It's going to be bigger than...
We're just going to have to shut down next week for it because we didn't want to shut down this week because it's his 100 days.
right? He's secured massive giveaways to polluters. Now, you were talking about this morning.
Right.
This is the whole, like, hey, you burn coal, you get a discount.
Yeah, let's look backwards for energy, not forwards.
Right. And he took credit for a bunch of job creation announcements that were actually Obama's doing.
Right.
Which is something that I feel like every president sort of does. Obama wasn't able to because he was handed a shit sandwich. But, you know, the job numbers came out. Hey, they're up. Look at that. Well, they're up during Obama's term, so thanks, Obama.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything to create those jobs.
No. At the same time, he's been bragging about assaulting women, lewdly describing his daughters. One of my favorite.
Oh, that's such a creepy relationship.
I know, right?
I haven't heard this one.
What, the sexually, like, lewdly describing his daughters?
Sounds vaguely familiar.
Oh yeah, he is forever talking about how gorgeous Ivanka is, and they showed I was watching a clip on.
You mean she's not his wife?
No, it's Melania. You know, they all look
Right.
alike. They're all fucking cloned. No, on the John Oliver show, they showed a clip where they asked Ivanka, you know, what do you share most with your father? And she was like, oh, golfing and real estate, you know, party line.
Right.
And then they asked Trump, and he said, well, I would say sex, but we can't really. And then the rest of it was drowned out by the fact that the entire audience kind of blew up. Most of them clapping, weirdly enough.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a creepy segment.
And oh man,
Yep. Take a
He's
deep
just
breath and
creepy.
try and power through this article.
I believe in you.
You got to get tall boots to walk through this one.
yeah, I'm gonna need a drink. So hold on
Yeah.
just a second here.
Chug, chug, chug.
All right, so we got 5 things. We got 5 things we got to get through. These are the things he's actually done. So we talked about all the bigliest shit that he promised to do and didn't pull off.
Right, his goals.
Yeah, what did he actually pull off? Well, number one, nominated a right-wing justice to the Supreme Court. Now
Yay.
we talked about this one. It's Neil Gorsuch.
Yeah.
Basically, Antonin Scalia reborn. This guy wants to overturn Roe versus Wade. He has a long history of supporting what am I looking for here? Christian and religious groups.
All right, like religious government.
Yeah. Let's see. Now, first off, they blocked. Like, Republicans take this as a win because they blocked Obama's candidate for 9 months, I think. God damn near a year.
Right,
Like,
drug their feet.
you could have made a human in the time it took for them to just say no to
And
his...
that would have been more fun.
Yeah, right?
For one of the parties.
Well, yeah. I mean, gestating is actually fairly difficult. I love making humans. I don't have to fucking deal with them for 9 months. But he's upheld anti-abortion laws in the past. He's publicly said he wants to overturn Roe v. Wade. He has close connections with several Christian rights groups and things of this nature.
Those the alt-rights, the racist ones?
Yeah. Well, yeah. He gets pretty much that far into it. And, you know, Gorsuch would be bad enough. Just getting this guy into the Supreme Court would be bad enough.
Yeah, making big decisions.
Yeah, but, wasn't interpreting the law. But,
Yeah.
Because that wasn't enough, Trump has stacked his administration, this is number 2 on the list, stacking his administration with far-right activists. We got guys like Jeff Sessions as Attorney General. That was the guy we were talking about earlier. He's Attorney fucking General, Young Earth Creationist.
Right.
Tom Prince to help head the Department of Health. I don't know much about this guy, but Tom Prince doesn't sound like a great name unless he's black. Dr. Ben Carson, another African-American Young Earth Creationist, to lead the Department of Housing and Urban Development. This is the one we're pretty sure Trump put him in charge of housing and urban development, even though he's a cardiologist. He was like,
Yeah, I thought he'd turn that down because he knew nothing about it. He'd picked it up.
yeah. As far as I know, Carson's still in. Am I right? Is anybody fact checking me on that?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought the research department was leaning in to say, "Hey, fuck."
No, I was just going to say it doesn't matter whether they know nothing about it or not.
Oh no! As long as they're pretty, or Christian, or something. Fuck, I don't know.
Or sleepy.
Yeah, or what have you.
Are we just naming dwarves now?
Yes.
I wasn't. And finally, we got Betsy DeVos to run the education department. And Betsy DeVos is...
That's who I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Doesn't know anything.
Yeah, no. She knows fuck all nothing, except for the fact that she wants to go to the voucher system. I don't know if you're familiar with the voucher system is.
I am not.
Okay, so basically you can get a voucher from the government saying, hey, your kid doesn't have to attend public school as long as they attend a school. And homeschooling and insane Christian evangelical schools qualify. And money, like the monies from the federal government, will go to those schools via the voucher. So now we're funneling money into religious schools, an explicit and direct violation of the separation of church and state.
Right. Don't we already have like Khan Academy and Primavera and like other programs that they can take it home?
Yes, absolutely. There's all kinds of online stuff already, and the voucher system has been shot down over and over and over again. And this is why Betsy DeVos doesn't know fuck all about what's actually legal or right when it comes to education. So she just knows that kids need Jesus. So we're gonna Jesus the fuck out of them. I wish your eye roll right there had an audio component. No, it's fine. You can't really like audio an eye roll, but I feel like could you? It would have been wonderful.
Jesus Christ.
There needs to be a sound effect or something.
Wah, wah.
Yeah.
And then we've got a couple others here. Trump filled the government with conservative writers, activists, and lobbyists. Steve Bannon, Stephen Miller, who both hold far-right views. We just got a fuck ton of people in here who are far-right, alt-right, crazy fucking religious nutbags.
Right. It's going to be a great time.
Yeah, this brings us to number 3. Reinstituting the global gag rule. I don't know if you're familiar with this one. This is the abortion rule.
But it sounds amazing.
They're not talking about ball gags, are they?
No, and they're not talking about dicks either, unfortunately.
Man, way to fuck it up.
Yeah, right? Thanks, Obama.
Fucking Trump.
We're global. It's tricky.
Yeah. So, yeah, I know, right? Global gag. That would actually... Weren't you looking at a ball gag that looked like the Death Star?
Yes.
Yeah, that's...
Want to know about the butt plug, too?
No, not yet. Yes, we do. What, didn't it say...
That's no moon.
That's right.
Nice.
She shops at the best stores. So he restored the global gag rule. Now, what this did in its first incarnation is it prevented foreign non-governmental organizations from receiving any money from our government if they provided, publicly supported, or even mentioned abortion as an option. Okay? So if you were a foreign entity and you were non-governmental, and you offered abortion or taught women about abortion or even said abortion in your clinic while you were on the clock.
Just accidentally sneezed and said abortion.
Yeah, abortion.
Yeah.
You were denied cash. Sorry, fuck off.
Right. And this cracks me up because the Republicans are always saying smaller government. They don't need to tell us what to do with our lives, blah, blah, blah. And then it comes to this point, and they're like, we're going to tell you all about what to do with you.
Yeah, and they expand this. It was referred to as the Mexico City policy. I'm not sure why, but that just sounds like a great thing. But he expanded this to include Planned Parenthood, which is America's version of sort of the governmental, women's health organization. So now, if anybody at Planned Parenthood even mentions the word abortion, it's completely fucking defunded. Sorry.
So should we just rename it? Call it something completely different? No, abortion. Just rename abortion. Like if it's in the law that you can't say abortion, we just need to rename it and give it a nickname. Yeah.
Waterboarding. Now listen, you can waterboard your baby.
Full support.
I feel like that wouldn't help too much, but god damn, it'd be fun to say, right?
Right.
There'd be a lot of. Are you guys talking in code or anything? What code? You can waterboard your kid.
So does this include NASA? Like if they have a mission, do they lose all their funding?
Oh, that's genius. Yeah. What happened with the recent launch? Oh, it was an abortion.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, sir. We're calling the president right now.
Yeah, you're losing funding.
Yeah, disqualified.
Like
we're taking your cookies away.
$17 of funding.
Yeah, all $20 that NASA has to spend in a year.
Yeah. Because fuck science.
He's attacked Planned Parenthood during the campaign. Trump vowed to sign legislation defunding Planned Parenthood as long as some of their clinics offered abortion services. Dude, this guy cannot fucking stand abortion, apparently. Which is weird because his entire fucking career is based on financial abortions.
Right?
That's... He's been bankrupt 19 times. Like, only crackhead moms can claim that.
Such a great businessman.
Oh, yeah. This is the guy who's going to drag us out of an economic slump. Oh, wait, no. Obama already did that.
Yeah.
Fucking thanks, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Let's see. I'm not going to get too far into this. Mike Pence is mentioned heavily in this article because this is kind of Mike Pence's crusade to defund Planned Parenthood. He wants...
Right, that mannequin-looking fuck.
Yeah. Now, here's the big thing. Studies have shown that mentioning abortion or offering abortion services does absolutely nothing to increase the rate of abortion.
No.
However, some studies, and these may be skewed or spun studies, but some studies show that it actually raises the rate of abortion. But the trick is Planned Parenthood is so much more than abortion. I think the numbers say that
they're not a fucking abortion factory.
Yeah, something like 5% of what they do is providing safe and sanitary abortion services. 95% of what they do is educating families, providing condoms, actually telling people how the sex works.
Well, see, that's the first problem right there. You can't educate them. The Bible has all you need to know about sex.
Yeah, book of fucking Deuteronomy. Go ahead and put your shame stick in her sin hole and then hate yourself forever.
Right, because you did a bad thing.
Amen.
That felt amazing.
Yeah. Then whatever you do, don't you dare put it in the butt.
Yep. Did you enjoy that? Then it was fucking wrong, and you should apologize.
Did it feel good? Sinner, filthy, filthy sinner. Tell me all about it.
Tell me your confessions.
I'm not wearing pants underneath this here robe.
I'm just not wearing pants.
I think that's probably the best part of this whole thing. And finally, number 5 on this list of fucking just horrible travesties that Trump has actually accomplished. We're talking about the shit he's actually gotten done. In any of this, have you heard anything about tax cuts, undoing Obamacare, building a fuck wall, anything?
Fuck wall?
No, I have not heard about a fuck wall, but that sounds really interesting.
The idea of a fuck wall, yeah.
That's a fuck wall. That's the 1/4 of my bedroom is going to be dedicated to that.
Oh, good.
And finally, number 5 on the list is weakening non-discrimination protections. So, in other words, let's fucking hate on anybody who's not us.
We can hate again?
Oh, yeah.
Racial
All right.
white men?
Yeah. White, right-handed, heterosexual males.
Yeah.
Everybody who's not us, fuck off and
You're
die.
left-handed? Fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. Die in a fucking fire. A dumpster fire.
Right.
At this point. So, according to Kim Blackwell, the transition team's domestic policy aside, Trump still plans to execute an executive order on religious liberty and is likely to undercut non-discrimination protections for LGBTQ people. A large group of Republicans in Congress has called on the president to implement the order that would, according to USA Today, scale back Obama-era protections for gays or lesbians. What this does, to take the editorializing out, and kind of talk about this in plain English. What this does is it ensures that LGBTQ individuals have a particular type of protection under the law. It means if you beat the fuck out of somebody for being LGBTQ, that it's considered a hate crime. And it also means that you can't, it's kind of the whole, what's the North Carolina bathroom thing?
Right.
You can't tell someone where to go to the bathroom just because of their plumbing. You have to take their gender identity into account. The case that best kind of illustrates what caused the controversy over this was the bake a cake for my gay wedding case, right? Where two guys were getting married. They were homosexual. They went into a bakery, and they'd been customers of this bakery in the past. Went into the bakery, said, "We'd love for you to bake our wedding cake for us." The owner said, "No, it's against our religious beliefs to do
right.
that." And it was taken to the Supreme Court as a discrimination case. Now, I actually hate this case because I do believe that people in certain arenas should be allowed to refuse service. If we talked about owning a bar, if we had a bar, I would put a sign up saying I have the right to refuse service to any fucking buddy for any fucking reason. Why? Because it's my fucking bar.
Right.
And undercutting that privilege or that right of a business owner, I feel is a fucked ass thing. if someone came in and, I was a baker and they said, listen, I want you to bake a cake of a dick going into an asshole, I should have the right to be like, no.
Right, yeah, not doing that today.
Here's why that law was put into effect. There was a Jewish bakery that was...
I just spilled all over myself.
that entered into a contract with a couple for a cake, and slowly through the time progression, I guess, they changed what they wanted, and ended up being Nazis who wanted like a Nazi cake, and I can't remember exactly what was going on for the cake, but when the bakers refused, they had to go through with it because they were under contract.
Now, see, you enter into a contract, you complete the fucking contract. And if the contract was misrepresented, you take it to court saying this was misrepresented to me.
Correct.
Somebody says, I'm going to fix your car. They end up kicking holes in your wall. Then, yeah, that's a misrepresented service. However, I do feel like that liberty ends at a certain point. If you're just talking about Starbucks, and Starbucks happens to say, hey, I'm a religiously, what's his name? I can't remember the fucking name of the owner of Starbucks. I don't care. But he says, hey, I'm a Catholic, and I believe that homosexuality is a sin. So from now on, homosexuals, if we learn that you're homosexual, if you're a dude holding hands with another dude, you can no longer drink at Starbucks. We'll ask you to leave. I believe that that's a bullshit stance to take. So there's sort of a gray area in there where I feel like if you're doing a personal service for somebody of a personal nature, people should be able to argue sort of that religious freedom or that just general uncomfortability. Because like you said, babe, if a fucking Nazi skinhead came into my shop and said, hey, you have a Mjolnir around your neck, you're Asatru, and I want you to do this like Nazi ceremony for me. I want you, because I'm a minister.
Right.
They're like, I want you to do a Nazi wedding ceremony for me. I should have the right to tell them to fucking kick rocks, pound sand.
Right.
But
if you're in a contract, you got to finish the contract, but you don't have to serve anybody. And if it's your business, it's bad business to exclude a whole group of people, but it's still a business. So if they don't want to do that, then go somewhere else and take your business and your money somewhere else.
You're absolutely right. Civic organizations, I feel like, are the big ones. Anything that's government funded, right. Fuck no. You take everybody.
You can't go and get denied a marriage license if it's the law that you can't get married.
You can't get denied fucking
and you can't
stamps.
Get denied
like postage stamps.
Getting kicked out of a hospital or
exactly
like services like that. But like cakes and whatever food, like the Chick-fil-A people. I mean, fuck them if they want to exclude a whole bunch of people from their business. That's their bad business.
Regardless, what I feel like is this is kind of a squishy gray area that needs more examination. Trump's version of examination is it doesn't exist. Right. Just fucking do away with it. Abolish it. Done.
Yeah, hate crimes are cool again.
Yeah, so but they're not hate crimes. They're just fucking crimes.
Yeah,
now.
They're just crimes now.
We'll see how long they remain crimes. Those are Trump's first fucking 100 days.
It's a hell of 100 days
in office. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. Fucking thanks, Obama.
I wish I could get paid to go on vacation.
Oh, don't we all? All right. Finally, to close out politics tonight, before we start talking about Time Lords and TARDISes, we've got a final story here about right-wing pastor. I want to get a little kooky with you.
Goody.
We might touch on the Alex Jones story. I'm going to go through this one quick.
Okay.
Right-wing pastor Rick Joyner posted a video on his Facebook page yesterday speculating that recent power outages in California and New York were caused by God as a warning to America about the dangers of EMP attacks from North Korea. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to go here real quick. In New York, they experienced a power outage because of equipment failure. Like, I don't know, a fuse blew or some fucking shit. I don't know how those things work.
Right.
But so it was an obvious reason. In California, in San Francisco, there was a fire at an electrical plant, caused an outage. And in LA, there was a blip in electric service to the airport, and he called that a blackout.
Okay.
So it was like the airport was down for like 5 minutes, which is terrifying when you've got air traffic controllers and shit. But
Right.
they have backup generators. That
Yeah,
take
they're
care of
not going to lose power where it's important.
it. So this past
Airplane just popped into mind.
yeah,
Right.
Don't call me Shirley. But this guy gets on his fucking laptop and he records a video at like fucking IHOP or Waffle House or where the fuck he was, saying that this is obviously God. And what God's doing is, now first off, he didn't admit that this was any kind of equipment failure or that there was any earthly cause. He just said it was radiation from the sun. Radiation from the sun is what caused these blackouts, solar flares, which isn't true.
Yeah.
But he said, it's a reminder from God that we are vulnerable to EMP attacks. And we should really look at whether or not North Korea has EMPs. They may have already launched them into space.
Because we would have missed that.
Yeah, right? They can't even get a fucking bottle rocket off the ground at this point in time without us knowing about it. And he's worried that they'll have an EMP, and more importantly, an EMP that could actually fucking do a thing.
Yeah, from space?
Yeah, it might knock out a city, or it might fuck with a city. And I honestly feel like an EMP, like the global EMP crisis, would be the best case scenario for people like you and I. People armed with swords and knives and guns and armor.
Right.
Yeah, fucking, let's do this.
I'm sticking with you guys.
Yeah, right? Yeah, North Korea, let's go. Let's fucking rock and or roll. Both, if that's the option. Sorry, I got really militant there. I feel like a Republican. But fuck you, Kim Jong-un.
Right.
I want to see him and Trump arm wrestle.
No, Indian leg wrestling. Naked.
Right.
Oiled up. Sorry, now I'm just getting hard.
Do you have a fantasy we need to talk about?
Yes. Finally, last bit of news tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Alex Jones. I sent this link to you. You got a kick out of it. It actually got like an audible laugh out of you, and I feel like that's,
It
that's
fucking
important.
cracked me up.
Alex Jones claims that every society in the world should be, by 16 years old, men should be considered men.
And
We're
birthing
men.
children.
Yeah, and birthing children. And he claims that society is programmed to keep us, quote unquote, children until we are 40. Now,
I hope to be a child long past 40.
oh, right? if I'm doing anything right, it's that.
You're
I
right.
think that's how I got my job.
Is being in
Being
touch
a
with
kid.
being in touch with your inner Peter Pan there.
Yeah.
Your inner Peter.
Yeah.
Do you have an inner Peter?
Do you want to see it?
Right, moving on. So, Alex Jones tells us that there's a lot of shit that's in this thing, but what made me laugh the most is he talks about the fact that by 16, he had been in all the fights and he had gone through all the rituals, and my favorite part of the whole fucking article is the fact that he says, and by then, I'm not trying to brag here, but let's just be honest, I've been with at 16, I'd been with 150 women.
Right.
That fucking killed me.
Bullshit.
Bullshit. First off, Trump couldn't nail 150 women in his first 100 days if he was trying. But Alex Jones, the kid brother of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the fucking, I don't know, the Mad Hatter's acid trip of a human being. This guy is the fucking most hideous schlub of skin and fat and arrogance that I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, I think
Right.
the picture in my head is not even realistic at this point.
No, it take that and fuck it up a little bit more, and you probably have the fucking human abortion that is.
I have the blob.
Nope. There you go. Yeah, you're doing good. Put a face on it, and
Yep.
you pretty much got the fucking.
Oh God, that's frightening.
Yeah, there you go. 100. I made the comment to you. I was like, I posted out on the page for those of us, or those of you guys who are following us, that.
Oh my God, it's Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, Alex Jones couldn't get 150 women to look at him fucking naked if he paid them.
Right.
And he's claiming he slept with 150 women. I don't even know that he knows what a dick is for.
What's a dick for?
That's a quote from something, and I'm missing it.
It's okay. It's just Star Kid.
Based on my absolute nerd fail there, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back from the break, we're going to jump into something a little bit more lighthearted. We're going to talk about the new Doctor Who. Now, I know I fucked that up. All the nerds out there, don't tell me it's just the Doctor. It's not Doctor Who. The name of the show is fucking Doctor Who. We're going to be talking about who's going to be stepping into the time-traveling wonder shoes of everybody's favorite alien medical professional. And we all have some theories and preferences on this, I think, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so join us after the break. In the meantime, get yourself another drink. That is not a request, that is an absolute demand. Patrick, I hope you're ready to cue us up another beverage, because shit's about to get real.
Ready to pour.
You are listening to Bullshit, Hold My Beer, coming at you from the cold, cold heart of the scorching Mojave Desert. If at any point in time you want to get a hold of me or Patrick, feel free to contact us. Our social media platforms are going to be available in the bottom. They're going to be BSHMBeer. That's BSHMBeer. And we can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We can be reached at Gmail at all of those handles. And most importantly, we really want to spell this one out for you. If at any point in time you want to get a hold of us and show us that we're doing an amazing job, that you'd love to hear more, that you want to give us money to embarrass ourselves on air for as long as humanly possible, feel free to find us at our Patreon page. That's going to be patreon.com/BSHMbeer. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Feel free to grab that subscribe button. Feel free to download as many as you possibly can. Share it with a friend. Give us a like. A 5-star review on iTunes would be amazing. We will take whatever you get. The pandering does not end here. And now, back to the show. And welcome back to Bullshit, Hold My Beer. We thought we had some very special news for you. We thought Patrick had discovered a scoop and confirmed the newest Doctor, but unfortunately we're still in the speculation genre. So
Turned out to be bullshit.
yeah, which it was fake news.
Fake news.
Fake news.
Alternative facts.
Yeah, fuck you, Trump. Hashtag post-truth.
Post-truth.
Honestly, though, we're gonna kick around some stuff we'd like to see or options we think maybe. We're gonna talk about some fairly strong front runners, and we're just gonna talk about Doctor Who 'cause we're fucking nerds. Now, sort of a brief overview or a brief revisit of what we've seen so far. If we take it all the way back to Eccleston, and I'm going to keep it to the modern series. But,
Right, yeah.
I'm going to include John Hurt in this one, the War Doctor.
Right.
Well, he was introduced in the new series, so.
Right. Only had the one episode. But if we roll all the way back to John Hurt is the War Doctor. He's the Doctor during the Time War. He's sort of the Doctor on the day when it was the shittiest to be the Doctor. We get him for one episode. I love him to death. But,
oh, yeah.
He's sort of the self-loathing hero who commits the ultimate sin and blows up all the Time Lords, even though he doesn't, but he thinks he does. And then he's the war-torn sort of Vietnam Doctor. Has that very Vietnam feel to him. Then we get Eccleston,
right?
Who's technically 9. He's Doctor number 9.
Number 9. Yep.
So we get Eccleston. Now, I loved Eccleston. Eccleston was my Doctor. He was the guy I came in with.
Yeah, he was my favorite.
I'm not going to go so far as to say my favorite. My favorite was Tennant. But Eccleston was my virginal. He sort of broke the seal for me. He was the first episode I ever saw. And I loved Eccleston. Eccleston was sort of this pseudo-angry... He felt like a returning Vietnam vet to me. Had these very strong prejudices, referred to humans as apes, stupid apes in a lot of occasions. Just really felt like, I don't know if Moffat or anybody else had the whole Time War thing in their mind when they gave him his acting cues, but if they did it brilliantly because he feels like a guy who's fresh out of the war.
I think it's a shame he doesn't get along with anybody, so he doesn't come back for return episodes like when they brought all the doctors back.
Yeah.
it would be nice to see Eccleston come back and say hi, but
Right.
let him do his thing.
Yeah.
We have him for eternity as the Doctor, and he was the Doctor who saved Rose. Although they did put him out on the shittiest line, Rose, I think you need a doctor. Like,
Right.
come
So
on.
cheesy.
I know,
The
right?
cheese factor is so high, even I can't handle it.
Yeah, the best writers England has to offer, and this is what they give us. Regardless, he is followed up by Tennant. Now, David Tennant was...
He was my original Doctor.
Okay.
Ken.
Yeah, I fucking hated David Tennant when he first came along.
Well, so did Rose. And you see how that went.
Sure, yeah, I very much identified with Rose in this situation. I couldn't fucking stand him. Like, look at those shriveled little teeth, and it's a toothpick in a fucking three-piece suit. Bullshit.
That's my wife's favorite.
See, I remember seeing David Tennant in Harry Potter and thinking, ooh, he's cute. And all my friends being like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Those are alternative facts. I will never be as thin as David Tennant. So,
No, not.
yeah, you're hosed on that one. But yeah, Tennant came along, and he quickly won my heart. Now he feels like the remorseful Doctor. And the line that the Moment, played by Rose Tyler, played by Billy Piper, gives in the 50th episode, she calls him the Doctor that regrets.
Right.
And I feel like that's an apt description. I mean, his most famous line was like, "I'm so sorry," and he give it with those big David Tennant eyes, and you just want to snuggle him, like it's okay. Then we move on to after 10. Tennant is 10 and 11 because they kind of give you the he regenerated into a hand and made a new hybrid Doctor.
Right.
That shows you how important Rose was as a fucking companion.
Rose is
Yeah.
so important, and I might have to get into a rant later, but
Well, they give her own fucking universe with her own fucking Doctor.
Right.
Like, go ahead. If you're gonna get up on the mic, you gotta say something. Because silence doesn't translate well on radio. But
Rose was amazing.
yeah,
Favorite companion, hands down.
yes,
like really all I have to say is just Rose Tyler.
yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, Rose Tyler.
yeah. She.
My
Oh.
favorite companion.
Every sane human's favorite
Forever.
companion, really. Outside of Rose, we go through a bunch of companions. I'm not going to worry about them.
No.
The next Doctor we get sort of 11 in the standard count, 12 or 13 by the modified count. Oh fuck, I forgot.
I'd
what
still
we
co-
were-
I'd
yeah.
still consider him the
Let's
11.
just go with the standard count.
Yeah,
9, 10, 11.
yeah. You got 11.
And
And
Paul is 12.
Matt Smith again. Matt Smith confused me. I didn't particularly care for him.
So here's the thing. Like, David Tennant and Russell T. Davies went out at the same time. And so then you get Moffat and Matt Smith at the same time as well. And that, everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Oh, Avatar callback. But when you get Matt Smith, you get Moffat in on the writing, and I think the two really worked well together. It just took some time to get used to that
I
dynamic.
think there's an adjustment period with each of them because then you end up falling in love with the Doctor and you're really invested in him, and then he regenerates and you got this totally new person playing the same character. So I think for us, it's just you need an adjustment period.
Well, that's why this is the most brilliant show in history, is
Right.
because of the fact that they've built that mechanic in.
And that's how they can continue since, like, the 50s.
I believe it was the 50s. I don't actually have that number. I'm a bad nerd.
Yeah, I believe it was the 50s. That's how they continue. I am not a fan of Moffat, but I think Matt Smith did well with what he was given.
Now, you and I have had this conversation. You're not a fan of Moffat's writing. I'm something of a fan of Moffat. You're an episodic fan of Moffat. I like
Yes.
some of his grand scheme, like, story arcs. I do.
So, I like his one-off episodes. I think he does well, especially with his monsters. He's written some of my favorite episodes. So, my appreciation for Moffat is, it's a love-hate relationship.
Sure.
Yeah, he has some great monsters, but he became the lead writer when Matt Smith became the Doctor, and it just, that's when everything changed, and I'm not. Yeah.
Well, they pull some brilliant meta moments in Matt Smith's seasons, and I feel like that's a direct result of Moffat. I think Moffat has a long view like nobody else, and he has this brilliant sort of meta mind. It leads, in my opinion, to some confusing fucking episodes, but if I look at the thing and I'm like, oh, it's a Moffat episode, I know I'm going to be on an acid trip for the first, like, 3/4 of whatever episode it's going to be, and then by the end of it, I'm going to go, oh, I get it. Oh, of course, he needed a salmon to fucking solve his problem. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm ignorant to the whole writers. I never paid attention to who was writing it. I just enjoyed the whole series as it was.
Yeah, if it feels like you smoked a bunch of pot when you first started watching the episode, probably a Moffat episode.
Excellent.
And then, of course, after Smith leaves us, and by then I'd fallen in love with him, which now I go back and I watch Matt Smith episodes, and I'm like, God, he is a hideous chud. How did I ever think that he was, attractive as a doctor? But he is a bit of a hideous chud, but fuck, so am I.
All right, there's been lots of unattractive doctors.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a motif.
All right.
The thing about the Doctor is that he's attractive while being unattractive, and
Is that the thing?
it's the sexy brain.
All right, that's Sherlock moment. Intelligence, smart is the new sexy.
Right.
I feel like the Doctor cornered that market a long time ago. Which, if they got Benedict Cumberfuck to be the Doctor for a little while, I think that would be... Yeah.
Snatch, Hunter, fuck, what?
Yeah. I feel like he would be a fantastic choice. But, of course, that's not going to happen. He's too busy being everything else.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I also think Moffat panders to his audience too much. The more he did the Angels, the worse they got. Because
I'd agree with that, yeah.
he just played them up too much. He takes things and doesn't know when to stop. Everything is a big deal. Everything is a big deal.
Well, he was, famous for saying, we're going to, it's the rebirth of the cliffhanger. We're going to really sort of make everything feel tremendous and huge.
But then that makes everything not tremendous and huge.
Sure. I don't want to get too bogged down on writers.
Okay.
Because we're talking about actors here. So Matt Smith leaves us and gives us... I was excited to see a Scotsman back in the role, because Tennant famously is Scottish, even though he did it with a British accent. And they give us Peter Capaldi. Peter Capaldi, who showed up in the episode Volcano Day, and showed up again now as the Doctor. And...
Can I say that he was in World War Z, credited as Who Doctor, right before he was announced as the next Doctor Who?
That's I actually noticed that when I went and saw World War Z. I was like, that's Peter Capaldi.
Really? I tried to forget about World War Z.
Oh, hey, they're sequeling it. Good
Oh,
news.
yay.
Yeah, next week we'll get into that one. when we talk about that one on the boner scale, you can feel free to just fucking unload.
I did actually forget about World War Z until just now.
Oh, the audiobook is so fucking good. People, if you can get a hold of the audiobook, a totally different
Forget
journey.
the movie, listen to the audiobook.
Yeah. Now Capaldi's leaving us. Peter Capaldi and his wonderful eyebrows and his big white hair are leaving us. He's been 3 years at the post. I have not seen much in the way of episodes with him. I've seen about half a dozen episodes. I really got to binge watch the Capaldi.
I've seen half an episode.
Yeah, you fell asleep during our last attempt to watch that.
Right. I'm missing the last season that he's done and the current season, but I'm
blame
caught up
Netflix.
to there.
You blame Netflix for your inability to stay awake?
No, I blame Netflix for taking them off of.
Oh, no, that was
Netflix.
BBC wanted to make some money, and I think Amazon Prime just offered him more cash.
Right.
Capaldi, I really can't weigh in too much. I do know that I have had absolutely no motivation to go back and watch Capaldi seasons, so that has to say something. But now we're looking at a new Time Lord, and there's some rumors buzzing around the interwebs, like there always are. Not only are we losing Capaldi, we're also losing Moffat as lead writer.
Yay.
So we're going to be looking at most likely a new Doctor, a new writer, a new lead writer, and possibly, rumors have it, a new companion. So just a brand new start right out of the box.
He just got a new companion this season.
Yeah, but they're talking about the fact that she's not going to be sticking around.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, they're bouncing that rumor around there. At least some of the YouTube channels.
I missed that one.
And that's kind of the thing about Doctor Who, too, is everybody has their day. Whether their day is as long as, I don't know, but,
Whether their day spans multiple seasons or whether it spans, 15 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that's true. Everybody eventually will go. It's one of the true tragedies of being the Doctor. It's one of the true tragedies of being a companion. Eventually someday you have to go back to your 9 to 5 and fucking try not to kill yourself because you no longer journey through time and space with an epic fucking Time Lord.
Right. Go on amazing adventures.
I had a dream once that I was Tennant's companion.
I have that dream every night.
I'm a little bit convinced it was real.
There is a distinct possibility. So let's talk new folks coming in. There's a front runner. There is a number 1 front runner, and let me go ahead and bring the picture up on my screen so that I can see what I'm doing here. But number 1 front runner, as far as I know, is Chris Marshall.
Is this fan front runner or?
No.
One article I was reading said they were very upset that they were looking at casting him. The fans were, which you were. So
yeah, I was. Look at him. Like the way he looks like he's been beaten in the face with a bag of nickels, and not in a way that I could see him as the Doctor.
I've been told the same about me though, so there's that.
Well, that you've been beaten in the face with a bag of nickels?
Well, a frying pan, but same.
Oh, I was gonna say that seems like a very specific insult.
Right.
But like this guy looks like a hideous chud. He plays Nick on what is it? My Family, I think. Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't seen anything he's done.
I watched a little bit of the show My Family, and he plays this dopey fucking goofy character. Like guy looks out the window and goes, "Oh, it's a beach. Look at that." I just couldn't take him seriously. He would be such a fucking numbnut as the Doctor, and I'm getting fucking tired of having companions that are smarter than the Doctor. It's one of the reasons I like his latest companion is because she's not as smart as the Doctor.
And that's why I didn't like Matt Smith, because the companions were continuously fixing everything.
Yeah, no. The day that a companion in the form of River Song told him how to fly the TARDIS better than he can fly the fucking TARDIS, she could fucking die in a fire.
Although if you've seen original episodes, they start out where the companions are the ones who kind of fix everything.
I don't care. I didn't start out with the original episodes. I started out with fucking episodes where the Doctor is 800 years old and he fucking knows it all. So that's what I want. God damn it.
Right. This guy doesn't thrill me. Well, I haven't seen him in anything, but just based on his picture right there.
He just looks like a flaccid fucking like. He looks like someone had a blow-up doll of a human being and just let about 3/4 of the air out of it. About as fucking exciting as he gets. I mean, I suppose if they really wrote him well, he could pull it off. But I really don't want.
He could play it well.
Yeah, I don't want another dopey fucker as my Doctor. I don't want to be another guy who's like, "Oh no, I missed a clue. Please save me."
Right.
Bona fide companion. That's why I keep you around. I'm fucking done with it.
The reasons for the companion are because at least in the modern series, it's because he needs somebody to ground him. He needs somebody to much. That's
exactly what it is.
Yeah, to ground him, to connect him with reality.
Right, because his chosen mission is to protect the human species, and he needs to be reminded that, this is what it is to be human, and sometimes, you're a fucking alien, you get lost in all that, and he needs a touchstone.
Like the episode with Tennant where he realizes he's the last of the Time Lords, and even though this is one of those set events that needs to happen, he can change it because he's the Time Lord and fuck the rules.
And that actually segues beautifully into what I want out of a Doctor. That's Waters of Mars is the episode, and he says, he makes the comment, I am a Time Lord, was it triumphant?
I'm the last.
Right, but he says something to the effect of, I'm a Time Lord victorious, or I'm a Time Lord
I think like
triumphant, or something like that. But basically, he's kind of drunk on his own power.
He realizes he's the winner of the Time War.
Yeah, and ultimately, that's kind of what I want out of this latest Doctor. Like, we had the Doctor, we had the War Doctor, then we had the Militant Doctor, then we had the Doctor who regretted his role in the war, then we had the Doctor who forgot who he was, and then we had Capaldi, who just felt like sort of Doctor Number 4 rehashed and given back to us,
Right.
from what little I've seen of him. Now I want a Doctor who's a little bit drunk on his own fucking power. I want a Doctor who's a little bit cocky. I want a Doctor who's like, I am a fucking alien. Like, imagine Archer as a fucking Doctor.
Archer would be great as the Doctor.
Yeah, like
Can we vote for Archer as the next actor of the Dark?
yeah, just a fucking animated.
Right.
No, I want a Doctor who's like, don't worry, it always works out. Like, I have script immunity. Almost a little bit meta. Like a guy who probably knows that he is the center of his own universe. Fucking Deadpool as the Doctor.
I don't know. One of the rumors that got
Archer
me
hybrid.
excited for it was the Richard Ayoade. He was Moss in the IT crowd.
Yeah.
See,
yeah.
that one would work for me.
I agree. He has a
That
great
would
look.
be-
I think he has impeccable comic timing.
Yeah.
He's just a really, really solid choice, top to bottom. And so
And
now,
yeah, so I've seen him in the IT crowd, and I've seen him in The Watch, and not many people saw The Watch, but I thought he was great in it.
I wear a watch.
You do wear a watch.
I don't.
So this brings me to another point when we're talking about the brand new Doctor. Like, a lot of people are looking at the fact we're probably going to get a new companion. We're definitely going to get a new Doctor. We're definitely going to get a new writer. Why don't we really go ape shit? Like, and maybe get a brown person in as Doctor? And this is sort of that, one of the thoughts, the possibilities is that this might be a brown person coming into the role. Do you fucking give a shit what color the Doctor is?
No. Well,
Okay.
I just said I was excited about Moss, so
I suppose that does answer the question there. Now, there's also some rumor that the Doctor might just be played by a female.
right.
Now, they've set this up repeatedly. They sort of made the reference with, I think it was the Corsair in the episode The Doctor's Wife. There was a few. There's been a few references. They brought the Master back as the Mistress
Right.
in the Capaldi seasons, and they just went. I think they just had a Time Lord named the General or something like that do an episode, and he regenerated during the episode as a female.
Right, and he said that was the first time he was a man.
Yeah, that had been his first time as a man.
Right.
So they've really sort of like jumped in there and said, hey, just so you know, Time Lords can switch genders. You never know what you're going to get. So I feel like they really want to sort of jump in with that female lead role. And I agree with a couple of the guys we've seen on some of the YouTube channels. I would love to plug it, but I can't remember what YouTube channel it was. But they mentioned Maxine Peake. And her in Hamlet, the modern like interpretation. Fuck me. If they came out and said this is the new Doctor, I would be in 110% support of it.
I don't know who that is. I have not seen that.
I thought I showed you the picture. She's the blonde, was wearing the green trench coat.
Yes, okay, I got you. Yeah, the short hair.
Yep, that
Right.
short sort of like militant haircut. I would love to see, just by her basic look alone. Now, granted, I haven't seen her act in fucking anything, but if you're going to give me a female Doctor, I feel like the Doctor is sort of a brainy, edgy, what's what I'm looking for? Unorthodox, attractive in an unorthodox way.
Right, they're not standard by any means.
Right. So she really sort of fits that mold. Maxine Peake, when they give her that short hair and everything else, I really feel like she starts to fit that mold and just her general look.
Yeah, that's a good look.
Yeah.
And I think it would fit for a Doctor.
Right. There was rumor, and I can't remember the other girl's name. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, she has like a Netflix show called like Bubblegum Crisis or Chewing Gum in My Hair.
Chewing gum, yeah.
Okay. It's actually called Chewing Gum?
It's called chewing gums.
Oh, fuck. That's just kind of sad.
But this one I'm not excited for.
Do you got a name?
What is it? Looks like Michaela Cole.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
But
no, I'm with
she
you.
looks very annoying.
Yeah, it's just watching her
Yeah,
acting.
The clips they showed on the Nerdist when they were doing their rumor on it, I was just like,
Yeah,
it just look. I don't think I can take full episodes of that.
It just feels like she has no subtlety to her facial expressions, to
Right.
her body motions. Everything
too
is
animated.
so fucking deliberate,
Yeah.
and like everything is stank face. If it's happy, it's happy stank face. If it's sad, it's sad stank face. And people are gonna be like, racist. Yes, she is African American. I could give a fuck if she's chocolate skinned or not. What I could care about is the fact that like when she does confused, she looks fucking retarded.
It's horrible.
Yeah, when she does angry, she looks fucking ghetto angry.
Now, to be fair, I've not watched any of this chewing gum show, but just the clips I've seen looks very annoying to look at.
Yeah, I don't know who we're talking about at all, but can I say Gina Torres?
Gina Torres.
Zoe Washburn.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh fuck. You mean that many? Right.
Yeah,
right there.
that one right there.
Again, Gina Torres, American, not British.
Yeah.
Can't be a doctor.
Good point.
Because if we were gonna like open the competition to Americans, I'd say Bruce Campbell in a heartbeat, fucking hands down one.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, but if we're talking female and ethnic,
Yeah, that's a narrow fucking crowd. I really don't care.
Yeah.
Like ethnic and you fucking be whatever ethnicity.
Yeah, something like that.
Let me have about 7 more drinks. You poured them a little bit weaker tonight, and I feel like that is a good fucking plan.
Right.
I'm a lightweight, so...
Yeah, you're also tiny. Thoughts on a white male doctor? You know, this has worked 13 times in a row. Why not do it a 14th?
Because...
Maybe, but they haven't produced one we like in the rumors.
That's true. That's fair. Actually, no. Okay. So we're going to do a quick edit. This is definitely going to be an edit because I got to share some shit with Patrick. And coming back from the edit, I'm going to have to cut that out. So we went through and took a look at this possibility that BBC may have tipped their hat, or tipped their hand, sorry, if I could unfuck that quote. But they went through, they dug up some file footage from a show called Lucifer, and I cannot remember the actor's name, but of all the random white dudes that have kind of been proffed, this guy I like the look of. British actor, did some time playing on Lucifer. It mentions in his IMDb that he may subtly be auditioning for the part of the Doctor.
Right.
Really, really like this guy because to me he's very young, has a very young look. He looks like kind of the kind of guy who you'd give a sort of grown out scruffy beard and tell him go be aggressive, go be drunk on your own power, go be sort of like the dirty do anything doctor.
Right.
And that's the kind of doctor that excites me. I feel like this is sort of, do they want to recapture the classic audience or the older audience, or do they want to move on to a new audience? If they want to move on and grab like a younger, newer, hipper audience than my old ass, then they're going to need to do something. We're going to need a brown doctor. We're going to need a female doctor. We're going to need a new fucking flavor of doctor. If you want to get crusty fuckers like you and me back in the seat, I think you and I would identify with this, like this newer, younger, more aggressive, more type A, more fucking Captain Kirk style of doctor.
Right, yeah. I don't know much about this guy. I don't know. I haven't seen him act in anything.
Yeah, I watched Lucifer for like 8 minutes, really liked the show, but I haven't seen this particular actor at this point in time, so I can't really make a judgment call on that front. But, I don't know. It's an exciting thought. Is there anybody you think is a front runner? Is there anybody you really think feels solid?
Not at this point, no. I mean, the commercial that they put, it's weird that they would pull a clip from Lucifer and like of any random back of anybody.
Yeah, right? I mean, there's got to be a million fucking Google images of dudes' backs.
Right.
So
some stock photos somewhere.
You know, why go snatch an image from a Fox-owned television show and put the 15 question mark? Now, it does have the 15 question mark over it, and they specifically say, you know, maybe BBC doesn't even know. But fuck them for not knowing.
Right, I'm sure they know by now.
Information has been pretty solid that Chris Marshall is the real front runner because apparently he's been recording some stuff with BBC. He's been talking about leaving his show, My Family, which films in Jamaica or something like that, somewhere in the Caribbean, and he wants to be closer to home. So Chris Marshall is really, from what I understand, rumor-wise, the strong front runner. Personally, I just don't I think they could get a ham sandwich to do it better.
Right. But I have faith in the Doctor Who franchise. I don't think they're going to fuck it up.
Now is Doctor Who flagging? This is kind of where I wanted to bring this whole conversation. Is this franchise are we looking at it starting to flag and fail? It's been 10 years since they rebooted it.
It's been a good 10 years. I don't think it's fallen off.
See, it flagged for me, but I already got into all that. Why it flagged for me. Sure,
and this feels like a sort of a rebuilding the franchise moment. You know, we're gonna new writer, new doctor, probably new companion.
Well, I think that's the brilliance of it is they bring in a new doctor and then it just refreshes everything.
Right, and this is an overhaul from top to fucking bottom. This is basically a brand new show. So I feel like we're primed for a female doctor. I feel like we're primed for an ethnic doctor.
I personally would like to see at least one of the two.
I would agree. You know, my personal fan favorite would be Moss.
Yeah.
That would be my personal fan favorite. Now, again, I'm a dude. I'm a white dude, so I need something to identify with. If you give me a chocolate-colored woman, it's gonna be harder for me to really latch onto that human being. I'll tell you what. You give me the doctor's daughter, though. What's her name? Jenny.
You're right. The spinoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy, I'll be all over that.
Right.
So yeah.
So who'd you like to see that's not in the running?
Are we dreamcasting here?
Dreamcasting.
Ooh. Well, I already mentioned Cumberbund, but being realistic, who leaps? You know what? I saw it mentioned in one of the other shows. There's an individual I think would be brilliant. I think it's Stuart Head.
Stuart Head. What is he?
Anthony?
From Buffy.
Stewart Head?
From-
Anthony Stewart Head.
Yeah.
Okay, I'd be happy with him.
Yeah. Anthony Stewart Head. You watch Buffy? Yeah.
Yes.
Giles.
Okay, Giles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Giles. I think he would do a fucking amazing job. He would bring a certain je ne sais quoi. Yeah, je ne sais fucking quoi to the role. I think he would be fucking-rific.
If we were gonna pull off the Buffy crowd, I would pick Spike.
James Marsters would be a brilliant fucking choice.
Right?
Can we have Buffy?
No, not British.
Yeah.
Oh, god damn it! Why do I always forget this?
That she's British or that the doctor needs to be British?
That one. The second one.
The other one. Column B.
Now you were talking about
Gina Torres?
no, not crusty old white dude.
Patrick Stewart.
That's the one. Sir
Sir
Patrick
Patrick
Stewart.
Stewart.
I'm so
give
sorry,
that man
sir.
his due fucking deference.
Oh god, yes.
So yeah, now Sir Patrick Stewart in the role of a doctor for 8 minutes. Just give me one episode, and
Just
yeah,
even-
Just a one-off.
yeah, I'd smack
Yeah,
myself in the
just-
face with my own erection. I'd end up with a black eye. What happened?
What
Patrick
if-
Stewart was a
what
doctor.
If he was a companion.
Right.
What if
No.
No?
He would be
Not
too
even
strong
as
a
a
companion.
Yeah.
He'd be too strong.
He
He'd
would
be-
way
what if he,
overshadow.
Like, played himself as a companion though, like in a special.
No, not gonna do it.
No?
Not gonna do it.
I just
No.
want to see him. I think.
So do we all.
Yeah.
I really want to see him and Ian McKellen just like fucking make out for a minute.
I, think
I
there's a
realized that
video of
Patrick.
that.
I realized that Patrick
No,
Stewart is not
I
homosexual,
really think there is a video of that because
they're-
he
they're-
talked about. No, I'm remembering something where he talked about kissing him platonically because Patrick Stewart is fucking awesome.
but no kiss is platonic. Your mom. So, what about you, sir?
Mine would be he's already been in the series, but Simon Pegg.
Oh, now see.
Oh,
If
I
was
feel
gonna-
like you're onto something there.
Yeah.
And now that's a thing. Like Capaldi was already in the series.
Right.
Martha appeared in the series. I cannot remember that actress's name, but she appeared in the
yes,
series and
she
got
was.
killed by the
And
Cyberman.
then they played it off as her cousin.
Yeah.
Right. But if they can do that, now that would make me happy.
Yeah, no, Simon Pegg. But I feel like Simon Pegg's kind of done his bit. He was like, hey, and then fucked off.
Well, yeah, but like,
'Cause-
if I'm dreamcasting, no, I'm putting him in it.
No, you don't get to fucking.
Yeah. It's my dream. Let me have
I
it.
like the fact that we can push for Patrick Stewart and like you're totally okay with it. You say Simon Pegg, we're like no, you're going too far.
Can I push for a gay doctor?
It's too much too far.
Isn't he?
Like,
Does a doctor sex at
I
all?
don't think he has a sexuality.
yeah.
Well, yeah, he's definitely strongly
always making
heterosexual.
out
Yeah.
with his female companions.
By always, you mean never? Like
Okay, Martha he kissed, although there was a reason for that. But who? Redhead?
Donna,
No,
Pond,
not Donna Pond. Thank you.
Donna Pond,
Yeah.
Ponda.
Dr. Donna.
The
No, there was a heavy makeout scene with him and Pond. Indie Pond.
Yeah, either I don't feel like that's all his companions, but
Okay, fine.
but he gets more. There's an epic rap out of the history line like
There's still a lot
he
more
gets more
female,
less sex than, but yeah, he's definitely identified as heterosexual. When Captain Jack.
Yeah.
Captain Jack is my definition of pansexual.
Yeah, but there was like a moment like he did kiss Captain Jack, but it was made obvious that it was sort of a one-off. This is a special moment where I'm going to go ahead and cross my what's the sexuality lines
Threshold.
Yeah.
So there raises a point. Does the sexuality change with the Doctor?
Well, I don't know. We haven't delved into that sort of arena yet.
So that would be something interesting.
Yeah, there's tons here to play with, and I feel like if they really want to sort of reinvigorate the series and give it a brand
big
new
sandbox.
Flavor, that they're gonna have to really sort of. I think it would be time for a female Doctor. I think that would be the best choice.
Especially if they wanted to continue. That's when you pander to the younger audience, because the younger audience is going to watch a little longer than the older audience.
Well, that's exactly what they did in 05. They said, what's going on right now? What's the younger audience? Because back in 05, you and I were that younger audience, Patrick. And they gave us exactly what we wanted, and boom, it worked. So a decade later, it's time to maybe look
Revisit,
into that.
at least.
So, ultimately, do you think shows like Sherlock are pulling focus from Doctor Who? I mean, BBC is really cranking out some good stuff. Do you think there's going to be threats on the horizon?
I don't think Sherlock's taken away. I think it's completely separate. Like, they're both great, and I don't think one's taken away from the other.
Apples and oranges.
Apples and oranges.
Especially since they don't do a whole bunch of episodes. They basically give you 3 movies in their season.
Sure.
Exactly.
Which I really like that format.
Yeah.
Black Mirror is the same.
Oh, Black Mirror is an absolutely fantastic BBC show.
Right.
It's been pulling a lot of my focus. So, I think we're gonna call it there. Like, Chris Marshall seems like a very textbook choice. I don't really like him. Moss really resonates with me. I feel like
I like Moss. As
I think he'd pull it off well.
Yeah, I really think he could. I mean, especially with that comedic timing, man.
Yeah,
you've really got something there.
And he's got the deadpan thing going.
Yeah, he can sort of
he's not connected with the human emotion.
Right. Which I think is an element that plays very well in the Doctor. So I think we're gonna put the BSHMB stamp of approval on Moss as our choice. Let's bring him in. Let's make this happen. BBC.
Yeah, let's go get a flight and we'll do it.
Yeah, no. Well, I feel like BBC is already listening to us, and they need to pay some attention to this. So
yes, they do.
Make that a reality. That being said, we're gonna go ahead and pause for another commercial break. When we come back, I've got some shit to say to the audience, and we'll leave you on a high note, hopefully. Again, you're listening to Bullshit Hold My Beer. We'll be back after this. You are listening to Bullshit Hold My Beer, coming at you from the cold heart of the scorching Mojave Desert. If at any point in time you want to get a hold of me or Patrick, feel free to contact us. Our social media platforms are going to be available in the bottom. They're going to be BSHMBeer. That's BSHMBeer. And we can be found on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We can be reached at Gmail at all of those handles. And most importantly, we really want to spell this one out for you. If at any point in time you want to get a hold of us and show us that we're doing an amazing job, that you'd love to hear more, that you want to give us money to embarrass ourselves on air for as long as humanly possible, feel free to find us at our Patreon page. That's going to be patreon.com/BSHMbeer. Thank you for your support. Thank you for listening. Feel free to grab that subscribe button. Feel free to download as many as you possibly can. Share it with a friend. Give us a like. A 5-star review on iTunes would be amazing. We will take whatever you get. The pandering does not end here. And now, back to the show. And welcome back to Bullshit Hold My Beer. Now, We're going to close tonight on a word to the listener. At the time of this recording, we have gone live on Facebook, and we've gotten a ton of support. And I really want to say thank you to everybody who's given us the great likes, who's followed our page, who's paying attention to what we're doing here. But in that vein, I wanted to address the listener here for a minute as we close out tonight. See, it occurs to me that we talk about some really disparate shit on this show. We run the gamut from the intensely important political issues to shit as unimportant as who's going to play the next time-traveling fucking alien. With that in mind, I feel it's important to leave you with some form of clarifying message. I want to sort of codify what we're doing here. Chances are highly likely that I'll lack the writing talent and the intestinal fortitude to compose such a closing every week. I work a full-time job. We both do. Really not going to happen. But this week, it seems I had what it takes. So here's a neat little segment that I like to call, What the Fuck Have You Been Babbling About? Not to put too fine a point on it, but why do we talk politics? Why do we feel it's important to delve into the world of the super rich power players over whose lives we will have little to no influence? Why the fuck bother? Do we really think that a couple of guys bitching in a bedroom will have any effect on the outcome of our country? Well, the short answer is, you bet your fucking ass we do. Now, maybe I'm a starry-eyed dreamer or a loony idealist, but in my time as a civics teacher, I remember reading somewhere that this is a country of the people, by the people, and for the fucking people. That's who I'm talking to. All of you people. There are a few topics in this world as terrifying, frustrating, divisive, and rewarding as that of politics. It's what makes the conversation worth having. If my estimation of our walking bro stash of a president resonates with you, then I encourage you to pick up the call to action. Say something about it. Be loud and fucking proud. If, on the other hand, you feel that I have my head so far up my left-leaning ass that I could be displayed at a high school science fair as a human example of a Mobius strip, then my advice to you is exactly the same. Do something about it. Come at me, bro. We in this country are so ready to yell at each other and so unwilling to talk to each other. We're all so busy being alt-right, neocon, pseudo-Nazi social justice warriors that we've forgotten that we're just fucking people. I was once told that I was the man that stands at the right hand of Caesar and reminds him that all men are mortal. These days I realize that we all are. If I can do anything to get people talking, then it's a conversation worth having. So, why do we talk about time-traveling aliens and phone booths? Well, because you fucking have to. I happen to believe that this life is the one fucking chance we get. Billion-year-old atoms born in the hearts of stars have come together for the barest of moments to make up the shambling chemical cocktail that is our kaleidoscopic existence. We owe it to the stars that died to make us, to those around us, most importantly to our goddamn selves, to find some modicum of joy in this purposeless accident of a fucking universe. Otherwise, what the fuck is the point? We talk sci-fi, we poke new technology, we fangasm over Felicia Day because it feels good. We're nerds, and we're jocks, and we're hillbilly rednecks, and yes, I sound like the end of the fucking Breakfast Club, but there's a point to it. These are the things that we can all agree on. Technology is cool, movies are fun, health is important, and life would fucking suck without any of them. In a world where our leadership seems fanatically fucking devoted to tearing us apart, it's important to remember the things that bring us together. The most important thing we can learn is how to shake hands after shouting, how to laugh after the tears, how to connect with each other even though we may never agree. So from presidents to time lords, the mistakes of yesterday to the tech of tomorrow, we're going to talk about it all. We'll wait for your response. We can't wait to hear what you have to say. And for everybody at Bullshit Hold My Beer, thank you for listening.